Okay, so what about this? If we're trying to solve this equation for h, let me rewrite this equation. So we've got a equals 2 pi h r plus 2 pi r squared. So I got to get this h by itself. I can point to a single h so I can isolate it. What do I do first? First step in isolating. Okay, so that's add or subtract, right? Let's write this down. Like that. So the first step is right here. Add, subtract. Is there anything outside of parentheses? I want to get everything off of the right side because I got to get the h by itself on the right. Is there anything outside of parentheses here? Hey, I want to see all the Chromebooks all the way close, please. I know you're probably doing good stuff, but when I'm doing this, my expectation is I want you with me. So anything outside of parentheses that I could add or subtract from both sides to make the right side smaller? Yeah, everybody see that? Here's a plus sign, right? Here's a plus sign, and here's the h. I've got some stuff that's separate from that term that's being added, so that's an easy one to get rid of. I can move all that stuff to the other side, and that unclutters the right side quite a bit right away. I get a lot of stuff removed from the right side, and that's my goal. Get everything off the right side except the h. So when I say that we can get rid of stuff that, like, by adding or subtracting that's kind of loosely attached, that's what I mean. If there's some other terms that are separate from the part that involves the h that are added or subtracted, they're not in parentheses, right? They're just separate. Get rid of them. Subtract. So the very first step would be I'm going to subtract 2 pi r squared from each side of the equation. And look, those go away, right? So now on the right side, I've got just my 2 pi h r, and on this side, on the left side, I've got a minus 2 pi r squared. Those aren't like terms, so I can't combine them. They're just separate terms, right? Good. We made some progress. So what's next? Multiply, divide. To get that h by itself, can I do any multiplication or division? I can divide. In fact, I can divide by a lot of stuff, can't I? What are the things being multiplied by h? 2 pi r. So I could divide both sides by 2 pi r. Everybody agree? Okay. If I divide both sides by 2 pi r, look, the 2's go away, the pi's go away, the r's go away, and I'm done. I've got my h now is equal to a minus 2 pi r squared over 2 pi r. And that's fine. That's an answer. And I think you can leave it like that on the assignment. But I want to just maybe address one other little thing. Later on in the class, we'll get a little more particular about this. We're going to want to have everything totally simplified later on. So whenever you end up getting an answer like this, where I've got a common denominator in your answer, really a good thing to do is just to split up that common denominator and make it two separate fractions. So this would become what? What would my two fractions be? Right now I've got it written with a common denominator. I've got a minus 2 pi r squared all written over a common denominator. But I could break that up into two separate terms, couldn't I? Because I'm subtracting stuff on the top. If I split apart the denominator, what's my denominator going to be underneath a? 2 pi r, right? So I get a divided by, oops, too bad, 2 pi r minus, and there's that same minus sign, right, that's splitting the two terms apart, minus, my other term would be 2 pi r squared on the top, divided by my common denominator, 2 pi r. Now, why did I do that? I can't really reduce anything there, but could I cancel some stuff here? Quite a bit, right? I could cancel the 2's, I could cancel the pi's, and what's r squared divided by r? Just r, isn't it? right? Remember my rule back from Algebra 1? If I divide like bases, I subtract exponents. Remember that? So then this would all become a over 2 pi r minus all that stuff would just become an r. And that equals h. So really, I mean, in my opinion, this is probably a better answer, but don't worry about doing that for now. We'll get to that stuff later. For now, on your assignment, this answer, I'm certain Moodle will take that answer and it'll be fine. Okay, you don't really have to split it apart now. Later on, we'll deal with that more. I just want to kind of throw that out there for later, okay? All right.